All right, for 20, can anyone say what's going on here? We got some wool.
So basically, they started making all this money from the international market.
From the international market, yeah. Who's
But
they?
the
Australian sheep farmers.
Yes, a particular family, right? A
Yeah.
particular family of Australian sheep farmers
Yeah.
made a lot of money because
Their wool sold internationally.
their wool sold internationally.
But even though the family generated more income from selling their wool, they failed to enjoy a consumer increase in prosperity.
Yeah, they weren't any more wealthy, right?
Mm.
So we're trying to explain that. What's one immediate explanation?
That other things that they sold were not this was the only thing that they were selling, maybe.
No.
Well, if it was the only thing that they were selling and they started selling a lot more of it
I
and
thought
making more money on it,
Cost of everything. Maybe the.
I thought
the
it
cost
was
of everything else, like living, yeah, that's one thing. That was my gut reaction, like, oh, you're making more money now, but everything costs more, so
Yeah.
maybe that's a problem, right? Now, what answers were we debating?
B or C.
Wait, A, B, or C?
Yeah,
I
D?
think C.
Okay, let's go through those. So, A, at the end of the 1800s, when's that?
Not mentioned.
Wait, not.
Yeah, this is talking about 1840 to 1860. So this is not really an applicable time period. Even so, if the prices in general rose more rapidly than did the wholesale price of wool, what do we know about the wholesale price of wool sold domestically?
Oh, it wasn't going up. It wasn't dramatic.
We don't know.
What happened to it? The wool was higher than, it says it was higher than the price paid on the domestic markets.
Yeah.
That's all we know. The point here is that if something rose more rapidly than the wholesale price of wool, does that mean that it rose really rapidly?
Not really.
Not necessarily. It's just more rapid than the price of wool,
Right.
which may not have been very much at all, right? So we have a lot of problems with this answer. It doesn't tell us how fast things actually rose, and it deals with the wrong time period. Okay, B. The prices of wool sold to domestic markets by Australian sheep farmers decreased dramatically during the period in question. Wait, who's tempted by B?
Me. So I thought if the domestic market's price decreased enough, that could hurt their prosperity or income somehow. And then I forgot that the premise already told us that overall their benefit they had more income.
They had more income, right? And so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. They had more income from wool sales.
Yeah, doesn't
Yeah.
matter it's domestic or international.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Answer choice C. The international and domestic prices for these other products produced by whom? All Australian sheep farmers. That would include this lovely family.
Yeah.
Fell sharply during the period in question. So apparently everyone makes these other products, including this family, and there wasn't as much money to be made from these products during this time. So although wool sales and profits went up dramatically for this family, profits from other products went down and therefore could compensate or cancel out the benefits of the increase in income from wool sales. Like basically, if you sell hamburgers and hot dogs, you just sold a lot more hamburgers, but you also just stopped selling hot dogs. That's what C says, and this is correct. Okay, let's talk about D. Competition in the wool.
I don't really understand that though,
Okay.
because I guess if true.
Which one is true? Most helps to explain.
I don't know. I felt like that just went too, looked too far beyond. but I guess it's true. That's
So in like an inference question, that would be a big deal, right? But here it's just saying what fact, if it were true, no matter how crazy it is, would do the most to help us here. And it is weird to think that all Australian sheep farmers sold these things. But
Yeah.
if that's true, then this family did, and therefore they may have been hurt. So let's take a look at D. Competition in wool sales increased during the period in question, leaving Australian wool producers in a less favorable position than previously. The thing I'm confused about this, though, is that they still made more money, at least during this time period. So
Yeah.
even if you're in a less favorable position, why don't you have, at least you made more money from wool sales, right? So why don't you have more money?
Yeah.
Answer choice C comes in and says, well, you actually don't have more money because you don't have as much money from these other things that you used to be making money from. Sound good? Okay. Any other questions?